Welcome, everybody, to the YTWPodcast, your bi-weekly medley of mediocrity.
Ooh. Makes it sound like it's fancy hipster food.
I mean...
Like it sits in a blender for 4 hours, and then somebody buys it way overpriced.
Yeah, sits on a blender made of fidget spinners.
Yeah. Just drink it in, everybody. Drink it in.
Drink it in. Drink in that millennial goodness.
Tasting that Tide.
Tasting that Tide.
Taste that Tide, girl.
Taste that Tide. Oh.
Yeah, I got your detergent, girl.
Oh, we cover those things at work all the time. We just sit in the control room like, what is wrong with people?
Doing lines of Ajax.
Lines of Ajax!
Of Ajax.
God, what...
Rolling papers are Snuggles.
Yep.
Oh,
Yes.
no.
Fabric softener.
Bad.
So good.
Oh, those must smell awful when they burn.
Oh,
Wow.
I bet.
All right, so with me this week, we've got Flames from Flames
Hey, everyone.
Plays.
Hey.
We've also got Jess from port-haven.com.
Hello.
Nikita of the Sergeant Curry Pants YouTube channel.
Hi.
And myself, Great Canadian Guy, your host. So, we'll start with Flames. How was your week?
Not bad overall. I mean, busy of course, but Sunday I actually hosted my first LAN party. So at age 28, we had a few friends over, played some Fortnite, discovered that my friend's internet connection issues at home were actually because of a driver issue in his computer.
Oh,
We
sick.
fixed that.
That's the
Yeah,
best.
he's been dealing with slow internet for the past 3 months and just decided to ask someone for help. So we got that worked out. But most of the week's been busy with work and just recording in general.
Okay. So, playing anything good this week?
Wrapping up Alien Isolation and playing a crap ton of crappy horror games.
Yeah.
That's the best.
That's the flavor of your channel, right? Just the horror?
Pretty much, yeah. Probably about 90% horror, 10% just whatever else I feel like playing.
Awesome.
It needs more onesies, though.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to do some more onesie streams, that's for certain.
Yeah.
I just got to figure out when.
And that sweet, sweet onesie action we subscribed for.
Yeah. That's what I subscribed for.
Speaking of you, how was your week, Jess?
My week was wonderful. So, we've been up to a lot of shenanigans on Port Haven. I think since the last podcast, we actually finally posted our first video interview, or maybe we had just done it in the last podcast, but that was really exciting. I'd done a couple of email interviews before, but this was like the first time I got a video to put up, which was great. Thursday, my partner in crime, Professor Django, and I did our first episode of our hoping to be weekly live stream, like Star Wars talk show. So we're going to try to stream somewhere in the vicinity of 1 p.m. Eastern, give or take a little bit, every Thursday, and just kind of have long-form discussions, and then hopefully fans can pop in and like in the last 10-15 minutes of it, like ask us either follow-up questions on the topic or just any Star Wars questions they want, and kind of interact. And we kind of want to combine the podcast feel with the stream feel to kind of make something fun and in the middle. So that's pretty exciting. So yeah, we're growing. We're trying to branch out, trying to be a more variety of a channel. I did a Porg video, which is one of the things.
The best.
I'm pretty proud of it. It was, Porg plays in the snow. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, that was actually really good.
I enjoyed that a lot.
This is the best video ever, man.
So what else did you get up to this week, Jess?
In terms of like the just having fun department, I picked up a game called Tyranny off of Steam when it was on sale, which has like nothing to do with Star Wars. And it's been pretty fun. I have like a goldfish memory when it comes to things, and it was just like a lore dump for the first 15 minutes.
Oh, no, yeah.
So I've been playing it, I'm like, I think I remember who these people are, sure.
Yeah.
So they're like, do you want to help us? And I'll be like, okay. And then I'll get a notification in the game like, you've aligned with this, and now these people are mad with you. I'm like, whoops. My bad.
Whoopsie.
I thought, I can't remember who's a good guy or a bad guy. But it's been fun. I feel like it would be a lot better if I was playing it regularly. But it's in my like sporadic non-Star Wars time, which is not a lot of time.
That narrows non-Star Wars time.
Yeah.
All right, so how about you, Nikita? How was your week?
Yes.
Oh man.
Tell
I
us.
just wish I could have just one normal week. Where
I
things
don't.
are
We're
not
glad
really-
you don't.
I want you to have so many Nikita weeks.
Oh man. Where do I start? Okay, so a boring thing I did last week was I went to write an exam. But what happened before that was the weird thing.
Okay.
Because it was my youngest niece's birthday. And she wanted to go to the arcade or whatever and play games and whack-a-mole and all those crazy things. And she's 8.
Okay.
All those crazy things the kids do since
Yeah.
the 23-year-old.
Roll and skee ball.
And she,
Next thing you know, she's playing
Their,
shuffleboard.
ping,
to play
their
whack-a-mole
pinball.
but
She,
not hurt the mole. So I'm
Right.
frustrated.
She went crazy for bingo.
Bingo. So I'm like frustrated and I'm watching her with the hammer like softly pat the mole's head. And I'm like, you know what, kid, you're not going to get any tickets with that kind of stuff.
let me tell you how to do it, kid.
And she doesn't want to give me the hammer.
This is war.
So I ball my hand into a fist and I just bam into the moles. And I'm like, ow! This thing was solid as shit. So then
Well, yeah, you're supposed to hit them really hard.
And I'm like, oh dang it! And I'm still going at it because I want to win the tickets now. It's like do or die right now.
Yeah, now you're invested.
Yeah, and now I'm invested. I'm whacking the moles, and I think the adrenaline kicked in, so I didn't even realize my niece was in the corner. Like, I give up. She's not letting me play. And then get back home. I look at my hand. I'm like, oh, now why the heck is this thing green? What's happening to my
Whoa.
hand? And my mom's like,
Oh.
no shit, Sherlock, you popped your vessel over there. I'm like, oh.
Oh.
I've got this
Well
giant thing on
done.
my hand. I'm like, all right, whack-a-mole.
Oh, wait, how many tickets did you get?
Yeah, that's
Would
the
you
important
believe
part.
I only got freaking 10 tickets and I whacked the
What?
shit out of those moles?
Did you get a plastic spider ring with that?
Yeah.
We got a spinning top. That's what we
Oh,
got.
there you go.
With that
God.
kind of crap. We got a spinning top. The old-fashioned kind with the string.
So was it worth the busted blood vessel?
No, it certainly was not.
Oh my gosh.
And I have this exam that, like, the very next day. So I go there. I got this. My niece was the only one that had Band-Aid. So it's like a Barbie Band-Aid that she puts on my hand. And I was too tired. I was just like, you know what? It's not
I'm
gonna
gonna be a
help bit more.
doctor.
Barbie doctor.
Exactly. And she puts it on my hand. So I was like, oh, I'm too tired for this. I fall asleep. Go the next day to the exam. It's full of old people. And then I got this Barbie freaking Band-Aid on.
Yeah.
And
It's good to be respected by your peers.
it's so bad. And I was trying to look like an adult that day because I was like, you know what? Look like a grown person. And I had this Adventure Time pencil case. I didn't stock up with
That's unrelated to the
This
mole accident. I'm assuming.
13-year-old shows up to take this medical exam.
You're like the Doogie Howser of South Africa.
You know what? I didn't even pack stationery in advance for this. I had I just stole stuff from my niece's like pencil boxes and things, and I have
no.
Barbie and Hello Kitty and all this crap.
Tell me one of
They're
them.
gonna-
Tell me
They're
one of them
gonna
was a
trust
fuzzy.
you to do surgery.
I want. Was,
I go there and then the guy's like, are you in the right room? I'm like, yes. Yes, I am. Everybody's looking at me, this bright Adventure Time Finn and Jake pencil. I can't even hide the Band-Aid now because it's on the hand that writes.
oh my gosh. Oh, I was gonna ask you that if it was on your offhand or your. Oh, it's.
I couldn't even put the hand under the table.
Nope. Everyone can see your shame.
It was so bad. There's like this person that's next to me and he's like, he looks like he's in his late 20s, early 30s, and he's just like, what the hell are you sitting next to me? Oh
Oh man.
That
Too
wasn't even
good.
the worst part of my week. Like, what was it? The day before yesterday, I'm complaining to John and Jess about what happened. My mom
Yeah.
signed me up for one of her spiritual hikes.
Yes!
Oh
It's
yeah!
great.
This is great!
It was full of such crap, and she doesn't tell me. She doesn't tell. This is my mom for you. She will tell you the night before when it's
Surprise,
too late to
Krishna!
cancel. Exactly. And she's like, you know what? There's a hike tomorrow. I'm like, oh, cool. She's like, you're in it. I signed you up. I'm like, why? She's like, well, you have to do it. It's spiritual. It's good for you. And it starts at 6 in the morning. And I'm like, why?
Yes.
I was like, why is this happening? And you go on this stupid hike and you're supposed to feel enlightened. And
Oh my
I was
gosh.
just freaking tight. Like, my muscles were sore.
Did you experience the wisdom of Ganesh?
No! And they gave me this heavy ass thing, and they're like, you need to carry it on your right shoulder. It represents your burdens. And I had one, and it was the kids' one, and it felt so heavy. And my mom's like, no, she's got plenty more burdens. Give her the adult one. And I'm like,
She's
no.
got plenty of burden!
I was gonna say, did you write "mom" on the burden pack on your shoulder?
Give
would've
this
been
bitch
good.
a bigger cross.
And you gotta hike up this freaking mountain with the stupid thing on my right shoulder. And then, after this thing was done, I'm walking like as if somebody just shot my leg with 1,000 rubber bands. Like, I just can't walk. I can't even walk. till
1,000 rubber bands!
Yeah.
That's the analogy you went with.
Yeah. That's amazing.
I was just like, oh, this is terrible. My mom, who is like in her freaking 70s, she's like, oh, please, it's not even that bad. And I can't even walk. It's gone 2 days, and I'm still like applying like analgesic creams to my legs. I'm like, I can't deal. This is so bad. Oh, man. Just 1 week. Can I just have one normal week?
No.
If there is a God, then no. Alright, so for my own week, things have actually been doing pretty good. The channel hasn't really been growing all that quickly, but I've started seeing a occasional but still regular influx of like donations. I sold my first t-shirt.
Cool.
Ooh.
And yeah, I know. So everything's been going good on that front. I started playing Don't Starve together with Jess here. Man, that's a good game.
That was super fun.
We just cannot stop dying.
No, we can't. And it's
Not even a little.
It's usually like, hey, what happens when we do this? I don't know. Let's try it. Oh, this was a
Oh,
bad
everything's on
decision.
fire. Okay.
I put too much fuel in the fire and set the entire camp on fire, and then we all died. That was pretty good.
Oh, man, that's marvelous.
And then
I think my favorite...
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, then the other thing I did was like, I was like, John, see if you kill the beehive in the dark, if the bees won't come out.
Guess what the bees did?
They stayed inside.
No.
Yeah,
Very peaceful.
yes, exactly. It was fine.
It worked
No,
out.
my favorite part was she had this spider meat. She's like, I wonder if this will hurt me if I eat it. I said, I think it'll poison you. And then like a moment later, she's like, yeah, I'm dead.
It's just a lot of trial and error, you know?
Yeah. So yeah, Don't Starve was pretty fun. I actually really enjoyed that. Been plowing my way through Dark Souls. I've run into the wall that is Manus. Fallout 4 is actually impressing the shit out of me. It's making a good case for being my favorite game in the series right now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, really enjoying it. What else did I do? I actually started working out again. So that happened.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Just for some reason, somebody asked me to make a bunch of new things in my Discord, like for art, fitness, fashion, whatever they want to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And I just decided to like do some weights and post it in the fitness thing. And for whatever reason, that has kept me going. I guess having people hold me accountable for it. So that's been great. Turns out all I needed was girls watching.
It's funny what that does.
Yeah. Damn limbic system.
Yeah. Get you every time.
All right. So I guess we should move on to the news.
Ooh.
So our top story tonight, Monster Hunter World was released on the PS4 and the Xbone, and it is a huge hit.
I've not played it, but I've watched a lot of streams of it in the Wolfpack, and it looks incredible.
So it only came out like last week, and it's already sold 2 million copies.
Yee.
And the crazy part about this is, Monhun is a really niche thing in the West historically.
Yeah.
Like,
I'd never heard of it until this release.
yeah, there's a whole series, and it's only popular in Japan. But for whatever reason, they hit it out of the park with this one, and its marketing and whatever, and it's actually a big hit. So that's pretty good sign for these, like, niche Japanese titles that keep catching on. Because this happened with Yakuza a few years ago, too.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because nobody cared about Yakuza over here, and we always got them localized like 2 years later because Capcom was like, well, we have nothing to do this quarter, let's localize the last Yakuza game. But after 4, they found out that, yeah, actually there's a market here. People just didn't know the game existed or what it was about.
Yeah, because like I said, I thought it was really cool. Like, it's these weird, like, dragon dinosaur things, and they all have their own special trait, and it's not even, I mean, like, some of them are things you've seen a million times, I guess, but a lot of them have been really unique looking. Like, there was the bat with the air sac that we were watching that one day on one of the streams. I can't remember, maybe none of you guys were with me, but there was like this dinosaur bat thing, and it couldn't fly unless it had this air sac.
Oh yeah, the air bladder one. That was cool. It was like a pterodactyl, but its head was a bat.
Yeah. It was crazy.
I so want to play it after watching all these streams.
Oh my no, I've been following Bare Naked Gaming, and it's been so good.
It's too good.
I'm trying to remember. There was a game like that for the PSP.
It was probably Monster Hunter.
It was.
No, I know they had Monster Hunter Freedom Unite for the PSP.
Yeah.
But they had a game like Monster Hunter. It was like, instead of dragons and stuff, it was Asian demons and spirits and stuff that you're actually hunting. I'm trying to remember what it was called. Game for PS Vita.
Yeah, I just started Googling it too. I'm just going through a list of games like Monster Hunter. Tokiden?
Tokiden, yes, thank you. Tokiden Kiwami was
cool.
an amazing game, actually.
Awesome.
And
I'd never really heard of Tokiden.
Yeah, it's like, it was pretty much the only reason I still have my Vita at this point, I think, aside from that and maybe Disgaea. Which I'm not huge into RPGs, but it definitely kept my patience. I really do like Monster Hunter, and the new one looks amazing. I have to wait until fall, though.
I know, the PC release. I'm itching for it.
Yeah. So until then,
PC
I'll just keep watching.
It's gonna have all the awesome mods, and I'm so jealous.
I know.
So
It's
jelly.
gonna have all the awesome mods, and it's gonna look so pretty.
You
It'll
get
look really
Thomas
pretty
the
and
Tank
everything.
Engine coming towards you from the
Yeah, I can't wait to hunt Thomas the Tank Engine.
Oh, man.
So, our next story. Star Wars Battlefront 2 has sold a mere 7 million copies,
Womp,
necessitating
womp, womp.
EA to reintroduce the microtransactions they'd removed. Golly gee.
And nothing of value was lost.
Right. It's like, oh my gosh.
This is this. Okay, so their goal, what they wanted for a successful game, was 10 million sales, and that's a very large number just in general for game sales.
Yeah.
So the fact that they only hit 7 million, and that's a failure,
Yeah.
was their rationalization to bring back the microtransactions and start earning money again. Which seems awfully convenient since everybody who's ever going to buy the game now owns it.
Right. Yeah, there's, like, the only other people are the people who are waiting for it to be on some sort of weird super sale still.
Yeah.
But even then, because
kid in
it's
the
such a
math test that gets 99% and complains that she did bad.
Right.
Only 7 million. Oh man.
Well,
I know.
I've had the same problem but different with so many people who are trying to convince me that The Last Jedi failed at the box office.
What?
Yeah, there's a huge thing for all the people out there who like still have The Last Jedi hate, which I mean if The Last Jedi wasn't your thing, like that's totally fine. But I've had
Yeah, you can be wrong.
Yeah,
It's okay.
exactly. But I've had people who are like, well, you can see that the movie was bad because it failed. Because what happened was it like blew a whole bunch of movies out of the water in its opening weekend, but then it had a really steep drop off its second. But its second weekend was literally like the day before Christmas, and people weren't going to movies because they were celebrating Christmas.
So how did it do the weekend after that, Jess?
I think it went up again. It's ended up like top. I'll pull it up on Box Office Mojo now, but it's well and safe in the top 10 grossing films of all time.
Yeah, did it do better than the Titanic?
Oh, I'm sure. Well, I think a lot of things have beaten the Titanic at this point.
Titanic is sort of like the milestone now that big films are trying to hit. It's not the record. It's just this is where we're trying to get to the Titanic realm.
Right. It's sitting happily between Harry Potter, the final movie, and Frozen.
Frozen.
Come on, people. If you hate the new Star Wars, you think it's a failure, just let it go.
Nice. Nice.
That was beautiful.
That's good.
I really hope someone out there in the internet has like made a fan cut of Let It Go, but put Kylo Ren in it, like yelling at Rey to let it go.
Shit.
If you haven't done it, someone out there do that now. Let go.
Do it.
Let go. You're still holding on.
EA just using whatever excuse they can to make more money before
And
they inevitably become obsolete.
Yeah.
This doesn't surprise anyone. I mean, when they got rid of the microtransactions, they said they're going to bring it back sometime in the future. Everyone's just wondering when.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'm going to be real curious how long Lucasfilm stays associated with EA, because they've like completely bungled 2 releases of a AAA game, and they've shut down the division that was making like the other big Star Wars game. When Visceral shut down, they were in the process of making like the first Star Wars adventure game we'd had in a long time.
There actually was news of Respawn, the guys who did Titanfall, making a new Star Wars game.
I heard about that.
Which, I mean, Titanfall 2 blew my mind. I've actually done a lot of modding in the Source engine, the exact same engine that they used, and I actually spent hours recreating that the time warp feature, and it's fascinating the way how much work they can get done on an engine. I mean, it's a heavily modded engine, but an engine from 2007. It's just phenomenal. And if anyone can actually make a game, I know it's going to be Respawn. The problem is that Respawn's now owned by EA. Which means Respawn's next up on the chopping block. I already know it, and I'm dreading the time that I see the little pop-up thing. Respawn's been shut down by EA, and I'm going to go, well, I'm done with gaming. Later, everyone.
Yeah.
Well, that's sort of EA's thing, right? And Jim Sterling's been talking about this a lot lately, how they seem to buy up these small, like, ambitious indie companies before they can really get too big, bring them under their umbrella, and after they've used them, they just get rid of them.
And it's really bothering me, because obviously I'm attached to Star Wars stories, and there just hasn't been like a Star Wars action adventure genre game in so long. Like, we were gonna get Star Wars 1313 for a while there, and then the Disney buyout happened, and that game kind of disappeared. And that was going to be the first one in a while, really, because they had done, I might be getting this wrong, but they did like Force Unleashed 1 and 2, and when 2 kind of flopped, I think they took a break for a while. And then they were going to pick it up with 1313, and then that never happened, and then they were going to do this game with Visceral, and then that got shut down. And it's just, I want a video game narrative Star Wars story. Like, even if the Battlefront games had ended up being everything everyone wanted them to be, and even if the story campaign in Battlefront 2 is longer than like 4 hours, I would still want this game also. Like, I just can't believe we haven't I feel like tactical / RPG games are kind of on a resurgence right now, and Star Wars is so ripe for a game like that, and I think it's ridiculous we haven't had something like that.
Yeah, there does seem to be a movement towards like not linear, but like story-based single-person experiences, as much as publishers are reluctant to do that because it's hard to,
Fun.
do loot boxes.
Yeah.
Well, another concern too is also that Disney and Lucas have their hands. They have to have their hands in everything. They won't let a developer take risk or change the story. Which is
Right.
one of the complaints with Battlefield 2 is that the story is very generic, nothing matters, and then you're just pretty much you play the game and it's just 4 hours of nothing. It has no impact on it. I mean, I would love to see another KOTOR style game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I think the reason why we're not seeing that right now is what Star Wars is trying to do is have this kind of unified story that doesn't conflict with any other story. And I think when we get on the other side of episode 9, right now they haven't made plans for a new trilogy in the episodes. Rian Johnson's getting a trilogy, but it's going to be a trilogy of anthology films, like spin-offs. It's not 10, 11, and 12. So I think when we get on the other side of episode 9, they're going to be willing to talk about things and actually reveal backstory. And so when that happens, I think we could see it. But the other thing is they're not willing to touch like old pre-prequel time periods because they're still running the Old Republic. Like that is a game that still exists, even though it's not in Star Wars canon, which they don't like to talk about because then people might stop playing it. But it's not canon.
No, it's not.
It's all what's called Legends material now. So I don't think they really want to touch anything in that time period because it'd be confusing because they'd have two different things going. So I do think they'll do this eventually. I just think like it'll take simultaneous getting on the other side of episode 9 and probably eventually whenever they decide to shut down the Old Republic. But last I knew, that game was still doing well, so I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon.
Here's my proposal. I'd love to see this. Imagine Knights of the Old Republic, but in the style of The Witcher 3.
Ooh. Yeah.
CD Projekt Red meets BioWare. I'd be all for that.
Yeah. I want to see Revan fuck things.
In what capacity? Because there's fans who would like it in either meaning of the word.
The Witcher's notoriously heavy on sex.
Ah, okay.
Like to the point of absurdity.
Like the exact moment your mom or wife comes in is every time you're having sex with the character.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. or at the very least, Geralt's naked himself. Like, something like that.
He just came out of the bath or
On
something,
that unicorn and all that crazy things. Oh,
That bathtub Geralt, though.
yeah, that's when everybody decides to walk in on you.
So, yeah. Anybody have anything else to add about the whole Battlefront 2 sitch?
No.
Nope.
All right. So our next story, the new God of War story trailer dropped, and it's really interesting.
Oh, man.
So, people initially noticed that there was a big redesign on the character to give him a beard.
Yeah.
And now it looks like, I mean, I suppose some of this was known before, but I don't usually keep up with these sort of things, so I'm, out of loop. But he's apparently a father now.
Yeah.
Have you played the original God of War? I'm not surprised he's a father.
No, but I mean, like, he's apparently actually raising the kid, though.
Oh.
Yeah, actually, yes.
Yeah, and the whole game seems to be about, like, trying to live in the mortal realm as this demigod, but also taking care of your son, who may be a god?
Yeah.
That has sitcom written all over it.
Yeah.
Well, what amazes me is this is the surest sign that the demographics have shifted, because this is a character aimed at 40-year-olds who have a kid.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
That's
yeah.
a very good point.
This is this is someone that played with, like, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and now they're older and they have kids, and that's who they're aiming at. I think that's so amazing.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, I didn't even think about the fact that the character is actually growing with the fan base as much.
Yeah, so, like, I've seen people making fun of it and how it's a weird left turn for the character and stuff, but I'd much rather have a more sensitive and empathetic, a character I could sympathize with, because he's kind of unlikable in the most every way. So I'm fascinated.
I like it anytime a game tries out something new in a narrative sort of way. I think, I mean, video games are just such a unique storytelling experience because you actually can get involved in what's going on, where, with film or with literature or even comics, you're which I guess a lot of people are probably mad at me now because they would say that is literature, but I was just trying to say the difference between text-based and images with text for you at me.
It's a graphic novel.
But
That's at Yoda Bauer, by the way.
yeah, it is.
Send all your hate there.
But it's still ultimately a passive experience. What you're doing, and you're at the complete and total mercy of what the author is wanting you to experience. Where with the video game, you have some control over it, even though it's still limited. You can still only do what has been developed by a game maker. I like it anytime that they branch out and show you something new.
I think the coolest part with God of War especially is they're now entering Norse mythology and they're leaving Greek mythology, which is so interesting to like change the whole dynamic just like that.
Yeah, I think the whole point was that because he's a Greek god, he had to go somewhere no one would know him.
Yeah, after killing
Yeah.
Daddy Zeus. Ooh.
Yeah, I also like the idea that it becomes more like deep and human by leaving the Greek area and going to Norse mythology. And if you're familiar with mythology, theirs is way more like, I guess down to earth's the wrong word.
Made it Egyptian mythology.
But no one turns into a shower of gold and gets someone pregnant. Let's put it that way.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, basically, what I'm understanding is that Kratos is like the kid in the old book, The Page Master, or the old movie, The Page Master, where he would jump between stories. Oh, God, it was like '93. There was like a Quasimodo book with a hunchback, and there was a fairy godmother book and everything like that. But the kid would basically jump through stories. So this guy can just jump through. I mean, I want to see eventually where he fights Jesus.
Yeah, that'd be great.
The fact that they wanted to make it an Egyptian mythology, I won't be surprised if they even do that. They would try and...
I mean, it would also be interesting to see him go up against his Egyptian pantheon, because there's like no good guys in that pantheon.
No, there is not.
Yeah.
Hell, I just want to see him fight them all now. Go to Japan, fight the Yukai.
Right.
Hell yeah.
Make the rounds.
I'm gonna miss his double chain blades though. But his axe looks really cool though.
I legit don't like God of War, and those games bore the shit out of me. So this is a new thing that's actually got me thinking about it.
Yeah, it used to be just button bashing kind of playthrough.
It's only cool to see him tear the wings off a bat monster the first 30 times. Alright, so our next story. Somehow, against all odds, Skyblivion appears to actually be happening.
And there was much rejoicing?
Okay, so for those not aware, Skyblivion is a project in the Skyrim mod community to recreate Cyrodiil from Oblivion in the Skyrim engine and update it to this era.
I think I've heard something about this because I know there's a lot of I mean, Skyrim has obviously been so popular and it's been ported to so many other platforms.
Yep.
But I know there's kind of the same way there's kind of like a Civ 4 versus Civ 5 thing. There's a Oblivion versus Skyrim thing. Where there's just
Kinda.
some, I know that with different changes to things and whatnot, but I kind of, again, this is, we were talking about it before, I always get so interested in what mod communities do. Just like there's the restoration project on the second Knights of the Old Republic game that was a fan community that finally finished the game and that sort of thing.
Yeah, well, the thing about this is people, since basically Skyrim came out, have been trying to do this because all of Tamriel is mapped. There's just nothing there but the White Gold Tower is in Cyrodiil. That's the only thing. So it's all there if you want to do it, but that's a huge project and no one has the time or the resources or necessarily the skill to do it. So even when people that have the skill come together, one of either resources or time always gets in the way and the project falls apart. So and we've seen them try to do something like this in Oblivion as well, and then it died as soon as Skyrim came out. And there was a similar project in Morrowind for Hammerfell, but it fell apart when Oblivion came out because the new system comes out and replaces the old one, and people want to move on to that one.
Right.
So the project keeps having to start over in each new engine. Well, it looks like people have actually decided that, nope, this is the engine, this is the one, and we're going to do it. because they actually were able to release the County Bruma from Cyrodiil as a self-contained expansion to the game. And now they're working specifically on the Imperial City and Anvil and Skingrad. So yeah, this is kind of unprecedented in game modding.
That's really cool.
To be honest, I don't really know too much about the Elder Scrolls. I played Skyrim and Oblivion and Morrowind. Really enjoyed them, but I did not really get into the lore too much because there's just so much of it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there are literally books in that game. Full books.
Yep. Okay. Well, we can move on. In news that surprised nobody, some celebrities have been purchasing their Twitter followers to seem more important.
I'm appalled.
What?
Right? Who could have guessed?
Surprise.
I'm offended at the fact that they're hiring these robots to follow them,
It's
whereas we're perfectly fine here.
Yeah, someone could pay me to retweet their things. I'd do it.
Maybe I will retweet the hell out of whatever crap you're saying.
I mean, Sarge, you're ready to retweet all of us anyway.
I know, right?
That is true. She is basically a robot.
I am a bot.
The retweet machine.
I don't have the full list of the people who were named as these guys are
Aiken
clearly.
was one, and DJ Snake. The
Yeah,
rest I don't
Clay Aiken, DJ Snake.
Yes.
There's more. John Leguizamo.
Yes.
his name.
Yeah.
Wait, Leguizamo
That's-
or Leguizamo?
Leguizamo.
Leguizamo, that C-list actor.
Yeah.
Yeah, Luigi from the Mario Brothers
Yeah,
movie.
Yeah.
Luigi. Yeah.
Sid
Yeah.
the Sloth. Okay.
Oh, wow. Paul Hollywood was included in this.
Ha! Suck it, nerd.
With your baking and delicious looking food.
I don't get celebrity chefs. I just don't, and I can't, and they're so stupid.
There's certain celebrity chefs I like.
Alton
Brown, absolutely love him.
Guy Fieri seems like a cool guy, but I don't care about him being a chef. I don't care to watch him cook food or eat food or.
Well, that's why I like
Why?
Alton Brown. He actually teaches you the science and the chemistry behind the cooking as he's doing it and talking to
yeah,
you about
he
how
does.
it's done. Whereas, if you just go up there hey, I'm making chicken, bam, chicken, bam. Emerald, he's an interesting character, but at the same time, I'm just watching him cook food and starving while I'm eating Pringles on the couch by myself.
Yeah. I just can't get it why they're celebrities. So anybody have anything to add about this? Because we all use Twitter, and a lot of us are hustling to get them followers.
I mean, I know. I mean, it's certainly based in some sort of psychological truth. If I'm getting followed or retweeted by someone, I check to see how many followers they have as some sort of indication of that. It's just unfortunate that people take that to the extreme of just buying bots that probably won't even do anything.
And I guess advertisers are kind of concerned about this because those inflated numbers skew their decisions with who they want.
Yeah.
They base sponsorships on Twitter followership now, apparently. So
Apparently, it's happening on Instagram as well. People just buy bots to follow them on Instagram.
here, bots, look at my food. Have you seen my third
Hashtag
selfie today,
left.
robot? Were you saying something, Flames?
I mean, I understand the desire to inflate your numbers, make yourself seem more popular and more important than you actually are. But at the same time, that's like me going to some site and saying, oh, hey, yeah, I'll pay for 1,000 subscribers just to monetize. Those 1,000 subscribers aren't going to do crap. Nobody cares.
Right.
Nope. No, but you get to be a big dick G with your fake number.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a shitty practice, and I don't think, no, there's no tangible benefit to it, and if anything, you're just hurting people who actually do use Twitter as a real platform to make money.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Okay, next story. Somehow, World of Warcraft, the 2004 MMORPG, is getting another expansion this summer.
Wow.
So this 14-year-old video game receives its new expansion, I think it's Battle for Azeroth, which I assume is an important place because I've never played it.
You got to do something big if you're going to have an expansion for 14 years.
Right?
And yeah, Battle for Azeroth would be pretty big if it's going to actually have a lasting impact. Now, I've never actually played World of Warcraft. I was more of a Guild Wars fan myself. But I mean, people still play it. There's still plenty of players that pay the subscription each month. It's still a monthly subscription, right?
Subscription fees. Wow, that's a 2000s thing. Yeah, I mean, I know people go back to WoW, and we did a thing on WoW having vanilla servers a few episodes ago.
Yeah, I remember that.
I just, for whatever reason, the idea of it getting another expansion in 2018 is staggering to me. I guess I'm out of the loop.
I guess when I think of other MMOs, usually by now there's just like different versions of it. Like it's not just still going. I mean, even like the age-old, grand time passer of RuneScape is on like RuneScape 3 or 4 or something.
Yeah, that's a different game though.
Yeah, but it's just like games like that. I don't know. I feel like it's kind of interesting that they still want to keep coming up with a story as opposed to like, okay, well, let's just start it over and come up with like a whole new slate of things. I don't know. I mean, it's still going strong.
Okay, I get it. Yeah.
One of my favorite authors who writes for Star Wars also writes a lot of tie-in material for World of Warcraft. And so they're building the lore in other ways too.
To what?
Well, I just mean like it's more than just in games. So like Christy Golden is writing a ton of tie-in novels. So they're building stories and stuff so that they can keep coming out with more expansions because it's not just being built through like, well, here's 5 more fetch quests. Like they're still trying to add to material in the game.
And it's not like Blizzard's just dropping Warcraft completely. I mean, there was that hit movie that came out recently that everyone loved.
Oh man.
Yeah, that big hit movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think it did better than the new Star Wars movie. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the new Star Wars movie was a flop, so
Massive flop.
we all know it.
No, but I'm actually looking apparently about a year ago, there were still 10 million active accounts on World of Warcraft.
It's just crazy.
Seriously?
Blizzard doesn't really release their numbers as much anymore as it used to, but about a year ago, damn it, this report just says a year ago. Okay. But yeah, looking report. At 10.1 million accounts active. And I mean, if half of them buy the expansion, which most likely are going to because the gaming community these days is stuck in the whole, I need to have the most up-to-date version of the game just to get the good stuff.
Yeah.
They're gonna make their money. They're gonna make their money back. Not to mention, I bet you there's gonna be a bunch of cosmetic stuff that you can get in the house, and they still have real money auction house on that stuff. Like there's gonna be Blizzard's not gonna lose money off of World of Warcraft. If there's one player left, if there's even one player left, they'll probably keep it up just because like we got that server sitting in a closet somewhere. Who cares? Keep it up for that guy.
Does anybody have anything else to add about WoW?
Nope.
Guild Wars 2 is better.
I have no dog in this fight, so I'm just going to agree with you. All right. So, recently, startup Proteum scammed some number of people by selling a fake cryptocurrency, disappearing and replacing their website with one page featuring a scribbled penis.
Nice.
I mean, obviously fraud, but also...
Yup. That's too good. So was the name of their cryptocurrency or
Proteum?
Proteum is what it was? Okay.
Proteum.
Okay.
All right, guys, I'm announcing it here. I'm starting a new thing called Bum Coins.
Yeah.
Bum coins? Yeah.
I like
it. No, I mean, so they just basically played into everyone's hot button right now. Cryptocurrency's huge, and I have no idea why. I actually had a bit of a dog in that whole battle.
Nobody understands why. They just
I had
the banks are out to get us. The banks have our money.
They're giving us interest, and we can negotiate that rate by changing bank accounts. Like, people make the bank seem out to be like such a big burden, and cryptocurrency has no value. Its scarcity is its value.
The only one that has any foothold is Bitcoin.
And even Bitcoin has issues because when they separated the chain into Bitcoin and Bitcash or whatever it was, and they forked off, it caused so many problems. I mean, people were just basically got thousands of dollars overnight out of nowhere once Coinbase started accepting it. Like when I was a teenager, I actually mined Dogecoins.
Yeah, Dogecoin! That was my favorite.
I had that shit sitting on a hard drive for years, just a little wallet that file. And then my friend told me, oh yeah, Litecoin's actually worth a lot. And I was like, oh, I did Dogecoins back. And he was like, dude, check out how much that's worth. And I was able to pull in some cash and upgrade my equipment a bit by doing that.
That's awesome.
I sold off at the perfect time, though, because of the fact that right after I sold off, everything tanked. So I'm apparently to blame for Bitcoin dropping. But
it's fine.
Yeah. But, I mean, the scarcity is its value, and it doesn't make any sense to me. There's no... I mean, the idea behind our currency, in America at least, is that there's gold backed the dollar. That changed years ago.
Like, oh, yeah.
Probably before I was even born that they got rid of that whole platform.
It was in the 70s, I think.
Yeah. And everyone still says, oh, yeah, it's backed by the dollar, by the gold. It's not. It's just we gave it this value.
We're not on the gold standard anymore. Nobody is.
Exactly. We gave it this value and the agreement that, yes, that's what it's worth. And then you purchase goods by that value. You don't have to buy Oreos. You could buy the Hydrox, which is, the original. I'm not going to get into that whole thing. Mm-hmm. Or the dollar store version. You can actually vote with your money, and what you set your value is what that dollar is actually worth. Mm-hmm. Whereas cryptocurrency is basically just, oh yeah, people, I've got a bunch of this dollar dues. I'm going to sell this dollar due for 15 of those dollar dues, and then 15 of those dollar dickers are going to go towards that dollar vag, and dollar vag is going to upsell to the dollar bond.
Dollar what?
What?
The what was?
What?
Yep. But yeah, it's just people are spouting words out, and it catches people's eyes because they hear all this stuff about cryptocurrency, and they go, "Oh wow, I really got to get into that." And then a company like this can come in and be like, "Yeah, just back us with their cryptocurrency," and people are like, "Okay, oh yeah, that's great because maybe it'll blow up and I'll be made a millionaire." Okay, I have nothing now.
So yeah, don't do it, people. Just don't.
Say no to Bitcoin.
Say no to Bitcoin.
Just say no.
All right, so our last story. The English village of Stilton, Cambridgeshire, is doing away with its traditional cheese rolling event as it's no longer seen as cool.
Oh, I mean, I didn't want to be the one that broke it to him, but...
So the first thing that stands out to me is that this was ever considered cool.
Yeah, apparently it was, I don't know when, but I guess it must have been.
They see me rolling.
Oh, is that a title, John?
That's up there.
Oh man.
So yeah, basically like 50 years ago, because this is a cheese town, that's a thing. They started this thing where they make this big cheese wheel log thing and just roll it down Main Street, and people would run along with it and get hurt, and it was a fun little community building exercise.
Running of the cheese wheels? Like how do they get hurt? How big are these cheese wheels?
They gain size as they pick up rocks.
Can you eat cheese after that, or is it
they cascade? Yeah, and then there's the rock littered cheese feast afterwards, which
I was gonna say, the actual main issue that people get hurt from is the fact that the cheese can apparently reach speeds of 70 miles per hour. Wow! So people are tearing ass down this hill, chasing after this rocket cheese that's going faster than my car is. Let's see. They are between 7 and 9 pounds.
Wow.
70 miles an hour. That's some fast cheese.
Yeah, that's highway speeds.
Can you imagine trying to pick up someone like, yeah, I rolled the cheese, man.
Each race has a maximum of 15
It sounds like
runners.
one of those Cheez-It commercials. Like, this is how we put cheese on a cracker.
The cheese is rolling down and then it hits a little cracker by a wall and just slams into a Cheez-It.
Yeah. Slam into a Cheez-It. That sounds like a slogan.
Slam into a cheese. Well, I would...
only one concerned that food is getting rolled on the floor and it's probably good, tasty cheese. Can we still eat that cheese after this? This is what concerns me.
To be fair...
probably just scrape the crap off of it.
That kind of cheese is usually coated in wax.
I would like to point out that the person who thought about this being a waste of food is our member from Africa.
Yes.
This is
food
true.
Getting thrown on the ground.
Oh my god, so I'm reading apparently after World War II, they used an 18 kilogram or 40 pound New England cheddar cheese wheel.
What?
Yeah.
That could kill a
What the fuck is
man.
the terminal velocity on that thing?
What is the terminal velocity of an unladen cheese wheel?
Imagine that person's obituary.
Are we talking about a European or an African cheese wheel?
Apparently, there's a guy who won 13 times as well.
They have a champion?
Yeah.
He could.
Chris Anderson, 13-time winner.
Champion.
He
Wow.
while running.
How is this village going to survive this?
Is the champion the person who could muster enough speed to win?
That was a Gouda one.
Cheese puns.
No.
I'm a whiz at these. You cheddar believe it.
This has been a good podcast, everybody. Thanks for being here. That's the show. I'm going to go put a gun in my mouth.
Cheese puns.
All right. So anybody else have anything to add about the cheese wheel run thing?
Other than
Good God.
Other than it restores faith in humanity for me.
Good wholesome cheese wheel fun.
Yeah.
I think after this, I'm lactose intolerant.
Right?